Dr. Farisani, a renowned theologian, anti-apartheid activist and former Speaker of the Limpopo Provincial Legislature, passed away on the 29th of May at the age of 76 after a prolonged illness. President Ramaphosa has accorded him a special official provincial funeral, category 2. We will be in touch with our reporter, Koketso Motau, in just a moment. But what you are seeing there are the live visuals coming through from the venue at the University of Venda Stadium. That's part of the official, funeral ceremonial elements, as we see members of the SAPS there just taking part in those drills. He was a revered theologian, was the late Dr. Farisani, and in fact he was affectionately known as Dean, and that speaks to his role as the Dean of the Bosta Mission at the Maungani village in Vembe district in Limpopo. Someone who was critical in terms of shaping the understandings of faith and how it intersects with social justice. You heard there from President Cyril Ramaphosa that he was a mentor of the president, as also a teacher of the president. And so that tells you about the kind of impact that the late Dr. Farisani had. Let's connect now with Koketso Motau, who is our reporter watching those proceedings there. Koketso, tell us where we are in terms of the proceedings there and what we've heard in terms of the tributes that have been paid for the late Dean Farisani.
Well, thank you so much, Tulasizwe. Indeed, we are still here at the University of Venda Stadium, where now we are expecting to see the body of Dr. Farisani being moved from this area to the burial site. And I can tell you that now you can see the police are here. I'm going to move a little bit out of the shot to show you what is actually taking place now. And also, I can tell you that the president is just next to the hearse, to the body there, just to pay his last respects. We understand that they'll be moving from this stadium where the funeral service actually took place to the nearby gravesite. We understand that this is a special provincial official funeral. That's why you are seeing the police here with their big guns. They are also here to pay their last respects. And now I understand that his casket is being moved from one of the tents here, and it will be taken to the hearse. And indeed, we know that this is one of the profound leaders of the province of Limpopo. We understand that he served, in various portfolios in the provincial legislature, where he served as a speaker, and also he was the MEC in the province. And this man is one of the leaders who actually, dedicated his life to the public service. And we understand that President Cyril Ramaphosa was earlier on, delivering his eulogy, stating clearly that he fought for freedom, and he was one of those people who were really vocal against, the corruption. And he also mentioned the fact that although people were against him for speaking out against the looting of VBS, which is one of the scandals that affected many politicians in this region of Bembe, Dr. Farisani was actually speaking out against them, and that's what we heard from the president. And he spoke more about his role in terms of mentoring him and mentoring other leaders. He also mentioned the fact that in one instance, the president was leading one of the organization which was founded by Dr. Farisani, but Dr. Farisani opted to be the deputy president in that particular organization, the deputy chairperson in that particular organization, although he was older than the president. And just to give you a little bit of his political leadership, we understand that Dr. Farisani was also committed to justice and public services, extended into his political career following the end of apartheid. He served, with distinction in several key leadership roles, including being the member of parliament in 1994 to 1997, where he was serving as the member of that parliament, the first democratic parliament of South Africa, and he also served as the MEC in Limpopo from 1997 to 2004, where he oversaw critical provincial portfolios, contributing to governance and service delivery during country's formative years. And we also understand that he served as a provincial treasurer of the ANC in Limpopo. We understand that in this role he was also ensuring financial stability in this organization. So those are some of the things that we can highlight, with regard to Dr. Farisani's life. And we understand that he was also the Speaker of the Limpopo Provincial Legislature between 2004 and 2009. And as the Speaker, he also presided over legislative proceedings with authority and fairness, upholding the values of democratic governance and institutional integrity. So now we can see the police have carried his casket. They are now taking it to the hearse, and they are, as we understand, that this is a provincial or rather the special provincial official funeral. So we understand that the police are actually, playing a major role here. We see the president is here, Dr. Popira Matuba, the MEC, or rather the Premier of Limpopo. We see quite a number of dignitaries. Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi is also here. We also saw the Secretary General of the ANC, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, is also here to pay their last respects to this fallen hero. So, I will just now allow you to observe the visuals of what is actually taking place here, Andrew and Chula Sizwe.
Yeah, so that's Kokecho Motau there, who's keep bringing us that live coverage from the University of Venda. And I've got to take care of a small correction that I do need to make. I did say earlier on that that's at the University of Limpopo Thohoyandou campus, but actually the correction that I do need to acknowledge that it was a mistake on my part. It is still known as the University of Venda. My apologies for that. But speaking of the people that are there, Kokecho, talk to me about how they represent the various areas of life that were touched by Dr. Farisani. I mean, it's an outstanding legacy and career that speaks to theology, religious leadership, inspirational leadership in terms of the religious aspects, but not divorcing the salvation of the soul and, service to that aspect from the issues of social justice and equality. What have we heard from the other speakers? I heard the tribute from the president, and I thought it was deeply personal, because if you think about Cyril Ramaphosa's own formative journey in politics, you can trace it back to areas in Limpopo, University of Limpopo, Turflop, the student Christian movement, as well as the Black consciousness leadership at the time. So their paths would have intersected at various points, and that's part of why you were hearing that deeply personal tribute being paid by the president. But what did the other speakers have to say that the late Dr. Farisani interacted with and whose journey intersected with?
Well, indeed, Chula Sizwe, we understand that he was not just a political leader, he was also a spiritual leader, this man. We understand that he was leading the Lutheran Church of Southern Africa, where he served as a dean. So we also saw quite a number of, religious leaders who are also here, to pay their last respects. And some of them, they also mentioned the fact that although this man, started this activism against apartheid at an early age, he was also against the Lutheran Church back then when it was supporting the apartheid government, calling it to order to say, no, you cannot support, this racist regime. And we also saw quite a number of political parties are also here to pay their last respects. We understand that Dr. Farisani was also a founding member of the Black People's Convention, and he also served as the president between 1973 to 1975, where he also worked closely with Stephen Bantu Biko and other, leaders of the Black consciousness movement. He also founded, the Black Evangelical Youth Organization, which also known as BEYO, in the 1970s, with current South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, where President Ramaphosa, when he was delivering his eulogy, also mentioned the fact that he was the chairperson there, Mr. President Ramaphosa was the chairperson, and Dr. Farisani was the deputy chairperson. Although he's the founder of this organization, because he was not leading because he wanted power and he wanted to influence, but he opted to be the deputy chairperson and allowed President Cyril Ramaphosa to lead as the chairperson of that organization. And between 1977 and 1987, we understand that Dr. Farisani was detained without trial on 4 separate occasions, as a result of his outspoken opposition to apartheid government. During his incarcerations, he was also subjected to brutal torture, including beatings, electric shocks, and prolonged isolation. So his detention in 1982, we understand that it was one of the most widely, documented cases of political abuse under the apartheid, where it drew international condemnation. Where we understand that the Amnesty International, having declared him a prison of conscience, leading to, an outcry across the world to condemn the brutal apartheid regime.
And Cortege, the aspect that you point out is actually quite significant, is it not? Because the late Dr. Farisani joins a long line of theologians and religious leaders in this country that directly confronted at a moral level the evil of apartheid, when at a time some churches had not really come to grips with the false religious justifications of apartheid. So in that line you would include the likes of Father Trevor Huddleston, the theologian Bayas Nodier also falls into that line, and of course the likes of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. This is very early on in the fight against apartheid. You can include the likes of Alan Busak and others. So it's a rich heritage of religious leaders and theologians who confronted apartheid directly and ensured that the cause against apartheid becomes international. So tell me about the proceedings now from where you are. What is expected to unfold going forward?
Well, thank you so much indeed. We understand that now we are waiting for the police to actually guide us and lead us from this stadium of the University of Venda to the gravesite. So we understand that the police will be leading these proceedings, where we are expecting the presidents to follow. In fact, according to the police official earlier on, they mentioned the fact that there will be these people that you see now, these police officials that you see now, they will be leading the proceedings, followed by the hearse, and then the president's car and the family car will follow, and then the rest of the people will follow the premier of Limpopo's car, which will be behind the president's car. So that's what we are expecting to take place now.
Yeah, so those are live visuals coming to you from the University of Venda there, where we had Cortege Mutau, our reporter there, bringing us an update on that funeral of the late Dr. Farisani, who is being laid to rest in an official Category 2 Provincial funeral in Limpopo. Let's go back now to the other funeral on the go. It's the funeral of the late actor Presley Chweneyagae, and that's taking place in Pretoria, in Tshwane, where we find our reporter Griselda Lewis, who joins us now from Acacia, from the town hall. Griselda, a lot of tributes have been paid that really, capture various dimensions and aspects of the late actor and how he touched the arts in South Africa and how he left an indelible mark. Tell me where we are at the moment in terms of the order of proceedings.